Yeah, hello, this is Dave from cheapbooks.com playing World of Tanks. The tank is the Matilda BP, or the Matilda Black Prince. It is a UK British Tier 5 medium tank, I believe. Very similar to the Matilda 4, which is used on the Russian tech tree. The turret is different. Well, it's a different tank, but it's very, very similar. There's also a Tier 4 Matilda, which, if you look at the specs of all the tanks, the Tier 4 Matilda has better specifications than the Matilda BP and the Matilda 4. However, these are premium tanks, and they're in a higher tier. For its tier, it's not the best, but it's a great tank, and I love it. You'll note that it's slow. It's only going 5 kilometers up the hill, so that means you're going to be the last one into battle. You're going to miss a lot of the first opportunities. You're probably not going to spot a lot of tanks with it. However, it's got a rapid-fire gun. Lately, I've been bringing the same number of regular rounds and premium rounds and only 10 high-explosive rounds. So my current layout might have more gold rounds in it than this particular game. It's easy to get a lot of kills with this tank. Your allies will weaken the enemy. You'll notice that on the enemy team, I can do a lot of damage to a lot of those tanks very easily with this tank. It's a very powerful tank, so they should fear me. This is like driving a heavy tank. You can see I missed that shot. I missed it manually. I tried the auto aim. That missed also. Which is to be expected. Now, in order to hit that Valentine, you either chase... I'm going to chase after him, and he's going to be gone when I get there. But what I could have done is I could have headed in that direction towards that rock over there, and I might have been able to get a shot on him faster, but in this case, probably not. So what I decided to do was chase after him. I think I am going to kill him, but he's not going to be here anymore. You know, he left. And for a Valentine, I would definitely use the high explosive rounds. I'm sorry, I mean the premium gold rounds. You'll notice that I turned my tank so that my frontal armor is pointing towards him. Initially, I came in sideways so I could get a shot in real fast. I changed and I pointed my armor, my frontal armor, because it's the strongest armor. Ideally, what I should be doing is facing in between the two tanks. But what I did was I pointed at one tank, and that's wrong. If I had faced towards this tree, what would have happened is one corner of the tank would have been pointing at this one, and the other corner would have been pointing at this one, and I would have had an angle like this for both tanks. But instead I have this angle for one tank and a side angle for the other. So that's one of the mistakes that I made. It looks like I used a repair kit. There is artillery in this game. So there is artillery, so that means that you have to use the repair kit. If you don't use the repair kit when you're spotted, the artillery might come after you. Always presume that they will. You'll notice that I am pointing my tank somewhat near the corner of the tank while I am shooting at this Panzer. As long as you can shoot with the auto aim, I do it. I mean, he's a tier 3 tank. He's no match for my gun. It doesn't. His whole tank is a weak spot. And with the auto aim, I can monitor because there's another tank there. There he is. If I had been using the sharpshooter mode, I would have been like this. And I never would have gotten a good view of this other tank who's an easier target. So that's one of the reasons why I use the auto aim and I zoom out. So I can keep a good eye on the battlefield.
Permission to engage. Critical hit.
You'll note once again, my gun is pointed over the corner of the tank. This is what he's going to see. It's called angling. People who do a maneuver called side scraping, it's actually a horrible idea. You should never do it. You should instead keep your gun pointed over the corner of your tank. When you side scrape, you increase the chance that your side armor is exposed, which is weaker than your frontal armor. You want your frontal armor to be used as much as possible, and when people side scrape, they hide their frontal armor. It's a mistake. You'll notice that I changed the angle of my tank to keep the side armor protected.
They're knocked out. Target acquired. Let's find another target. Target acquired. Enemy armor is damaged. Enemy armor is destroyed. Ready to fire. Enemy armor is hit.
Now you'll notice that I had to wait to get a shot on him. He was moving. Something was blocking the shot. While I'm shooting at him, I also reversed a little bit, and the reason why, there's danger if I go forward because there's another tank over there. I want to stay zoomed out so that I can see what that other tank is doing, and you want to keep moving to avoid artillery. That's why I'm backing up.
Penetration.
You'll notice I stop, fire, and then move. You stop, it aims in a little bit, fire, I don't aim all the way, and then move to avoid artillery.
Penetration. Let's find another target. Enemy armor is damaged.
Obviously, I'm using the manual aim in order to shoot at that tank.
Penetration. Enemy armor is damaged. Target acquired. Enemy armor is hit. We didn't even scratch them.
Even though okay, so he's preparing to shoot at me. Note that I angled my tank. I put the gun over the corner again so that I get the best angle possible. This is the actual angle, but it's showing too much of my side armor. If you're not going to be exactly over the corner, it's better to be a little bit over the front. That's why side scraping is wrong. When people do it, they put the gun over the side instead of over the front.
Penetration.
You'll note that I
Even scratched them.
continued to turn my tank to improve my angle. I'm always watching the angle of my tank. And the game ended. So I could have had 6 kills, but I suppose we must have capped them. And it looks like maybe we had a team killer. So that was the Matilda Black Prince. It's a Tier 5 British medium tank. Got 5 kills. The map is Cliff. One good thing about this tank is I share the crew with my other British medium tanks. I have a Firefly, and I have a Centurion Mark I, which is Tier 8. The Firefly, I'm only going to have it for a short time because it becomes maybe a Conway or something like that. It becomes a tank destroyer. So I do share it with the Centurion. That means that it's got like 3 or 4 crew skills. My commander has more crew skills than the other crew. My commander will have at least 3 or 4, and the other crew will have maybe 2 or 3. So I have the advantage when I play in the lower tiers. I've got Sixth Sense, I got camo, I got repairs, I got everything that I need. Okay, so that's the game. If you have any questions or comments, please post below.